Hey guys, today we will discuss about the features of the constitution. So before discussing about the features of the constitution, let's take a look at the constitution of India. Okay, the history of constitution of India. Let's take a simple and quick look. So the Constitution of India, the idea of Constitution of India was first put forward by M.N. Roy, who was, a pioneer or a leader of the communal movement of India. And in 1935, Indian National Congress, that is INC, also demanded a written constitution for the first time. And these demands were finally accepted in the August of 1940. So these demands were finally accepted that a constitution must be adopted for the governance of India, and further the constitution was finally adopted in the year of 1949. Okay, so now let's study about the salient features of the constitution. First, it is the lengthiest written constitution of the world. Okay, so initially, if you will see that in the year 1949, it contained one preamble, 395 articles, which was divided into 22 parts, and then 8 schedules. Okay, but presently, that is in the year 2017, it contains one preamble, 465 articles, which is divided into 25 parts and 12 schedules. Okay, so what is the reason that the constitution is so vast or so lengthiest? So it may be a few reasons, such as first, that is due to the geographical vastness of India and its diversity. Okay, and second, maybe the historical factors, such as the Government of India Act of 1935. As we know that the most of the structural part of the constitution is taken from the Government of India Act of 1935. Okay, and the third may be that it is a single constitution for both center and state, except the state of Jammu and Kashmir, because Jammu and Kashmir has a separate constitution of its own. Now, the second feature of the constitution is that it is drawn from various sources. Okay, now B.R. Ambedkar proudly stated once that a constitution of India has been framed after ransacking all the known constitutions of the world. Ransacking means just simply means that searching thoroughly. Okay, so B.R. Ambedkar has very rightly proclaimed that Constitution of India has been framed after a ransacking of all the known constitutions of the world. Okay, second, the structural part of the constitution has been derived to a much extent from the Government of India Act of 1935, as I have told you. And now the philosophical parts, okay, such as the fundamental rights or DPSP or fundamental duties, etc. And they are taken from the constitution of different countries, such as Constitution of Canada, USSR, Britain, France, etc. Now the third feature of the constitution is that it is a mixture, or it is a blend of rigidity and flexibility. So first of all, what is the meaning of rigid constitution or flexible constitution? Okay, so rigid constitution means that which requires a special procedure for its amendment. Okay, for example, American Constitution is a rigid constitution. And in the flexible constitution means that it can be amended just like any ordinary laws, okay, without any specific type of procedure. Example, British Constitution is a type of flexible constitution. But in this case, we see that Indian Constitution is a blend, or it is a synthesis, or it is a mixture of both. It is a mixture of both a rigid as well as a flexible constitution. It means that some provisions, or some areas of the constitutions need a special procedure to be amended. For example, Article 368 deals with the amendment of the constitution, or some do not. Okay, now the next feature of the constitution is that it is a federal system with unitary bias. Okay, means India is a federal system, or it is union of state, but it has unitary bias. It is a federal, but it is union, or it is unitary in spirit. Okay, now India is a union of states. Okay, what is mean by union of states? It simply means that the states have joined Indian Federation without any agreement. Okay, they didn't make made any certain agreements to join the Federation of India. Whereas in the case of USA, we'll see that USA is a federation of state. Why? Because all the states of the USA has come together to form a federation with certain agreements. Okay, and the next is that there is sharing of power in India, whereas separation of power in USA. In case of India, there is sharing of power. Sharing of power simply means that power is shared, or there is a coordination and cooperation with the center and state, but it is not in the case of USA. Okay, now Casey Ware, he was a historian. He clearly stated about India that it is a quasi-federal. Okay, quasi-federal means it is apparently federal, okay, and federal in form but unitary in spirit. Now we'll move to the next point of feature of the constitution. The next point of feature is it is a parliamentary form of government. Okay, so what is the meaning of parliamentary form of government? Parliamentary form of government is based on the principle of cooperation and coordination between center and state. Okay, whereas presidential form of government is based on the principle of separation of powers between two houses, that is the upper house and lower house. Okay, so India is largely a parliamentary form of government. Indian government is entirely parliamentary form of government. Okay, entirely parliamentary form of government, because there is, as I told you, there is a sharing of powers between the center and state. So these type of government, that is a parliamentary form of governments, are so they are so popular, or they are so prevalent in the world, that they are often called the prime ministerial form of government. Now the next point of feature is that there is an integrated and independent judiciary. Okay, why? Let's see that why India is having integrated and independent judiciary. First of all, there is single system of court and judiciary in India. Okay, that is, though there is no any separation of judicial powers such as in America. In America, there is a federal judiciary and a state judiciary. Okay, and then we will see it later. Now the second point is the Supreme Court stands at the top of the integrated judicial system. Okay, the Supreme Court is the highest court of appeal, as we know, and under the Supreme Court there is high courts and other subordinate courts such as district courts and lower courts. Okay, they all come in a hierarchical manner. Now the Constitution has also made provisions to ensure its independence. Okay, because judiciary is an independent body, as we know, so it obviously needs some provision for its security, that the Constitution is guaranteeing them. Now in the case of USA, there is separation of judiciary. Okay, this separation of judiciary in center as well as state level. That in the center it is called a federal judiciary, as I've told you, and in the state there is state judiciary. Okay, now moving to the next point of feature, that is the fundamental rights and duties. Okay, now part 3 of the Constitution guarantees 6 fundamental rights. Okay, that is the right to equality, right to freedom, right against exploitation, right to freedom and religion, cultural and educational rights, and right to constitutional remedies. These are the 6 fundamental rights that the Constitution is guaranteeing its citizen. Okay, and if we come to the fundamental duties, it was not initially added in the Constitution, but the fundamental duties were added in the Constitution in the 42nd Constitution Amendment Act of 1976. Okay, and a committee called Swaran Singh Committee, it recommended the need of fundamental duties. So the fundamental rights and duties is also a main part of our Constitution, or you can say the main feature of the Constitution. Now let's move to the next point of feature, that India is a secular state. First of all, what is the meaning of secular? Secular state simply means that the state that doesn't upholds any particular religion as an official religion. Okay, it simply means that all the religions in a particular country is same, or there is no any official religion. Okay, all the religions are treated with uh, equal passion, or everything. Okay, so the term secular was added to the preamble in the 42nd Amendment Act of 1976. Okay, so secular term was also not initially added in the constitution, but it was added in the preamble in 42nd Amendment Act of 1976. It is the same amendment act in which fundamental duties were also added. Okay, now let's move to the next feature of the constitution, that is universal adult franchise. Universal adult franchise simply means that means the right to vote, okay, without any kind of discrimination on the grounds of religion, sex, caste, literacy, wealth, and so on. So Constitution of India also guarantees this universal adult franchise to its citizen. And initially the voting age of the citizen of India was 21 years. Okay, but after the 61st Amendment Act of 1989, the voting age was reduced from 21 years to 18 years. Okay, now the third point is that the universal adult franchise seeks to encourage equality among all sects and religion of the society, and enables the minorities to protect their interest. Okay, so universal adult franchise is also a vital composition of the constitution, which should be guaranteed by the constitution, all the constitution of the world, and it is also guaranteed by the Indian constitution. Okay, now the second the next point of feature is that the Indian constitution is having a sense of single citizenship. Okay, though the constitution of India is having dual polity, which means the center and state, there is sharing of power, or there is coordination and cooperation. Okay, means there are two houses, you can say that there are two blocks, that is center and state. But as we come when the citizenship, the sense of citizenship comes, then Indian constitution provides only a single citizenship, that is the Indian citizenship. Okay, but whereas in the countries of USA, citizens enjoy dual citizenship rights. Okay, that is the one is the citizenship of center as well as the state respectively. Okay, so this is also another type of citizenship, that is the dual citizenship, which is guaranteed by the Constitution of USA. Now next point of feature is the existence of independent bodies. Okay, existence of independent bodies simply means that the bodies which are not directly under the control of the parliament. Okay, so there is a certain independent bodies such as election commissioner or election commission, which monitors the all the elections which are going all around in the country. Then next is the CAG, that is the Comptroller and Auditor General, which is in the center, as well as the UPSC, that is Union Public Service Commission, which is for the recruitment of civil servants in the Indian governmental posts, and the state PSCs, etc. Now the Constitution of India also ensures its independence through various provisions, such as that it ensures its independence in the judiciary. Okay, so here also it ensures its independence through various provisions. Okay, next point of feature is that there is emergency provisions in the Constitution. Okay, so the main purpose of this provision is to safeguard the sovereignty, unity and integrity of the country during severe times. So there are three types of emergency provisions that are specified in the Indian Constitution. That is, first is national emergency, second is state emergency, and third is financial emergency. Okay, so here these three articles they are mentioned, that is national emergency in Article 352, state emergency in 365, and financial emergency in 360. So during these times of emergency, the state will go direct and total control over the center without any formal amendment on the Constitution. Okay, so there will be presidential rule or governor's rule in times of national emergency, okay, or state emergency or any kind of emergency. Okay, now the third